Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon. Hello. Kelkamo. Could you hear me? ആരെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് റെസ്പോണ്ട് ചെയ്യും. ഹലോ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്, ഇന്ന് ഓഗസ്റ്റ് 14, ഇനി 5 ദിവസം മാത്രം. അടുത്ത ബുധനാഴ്ച പരീക്ഷയാണ് രാവിലെ. അടുത്ത വ്യാഴാഴ്ച നിങ്ങൾ ഫ്രീ ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഒരു 100 ചോദ്യങ്ങളാണ് ഈ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഹലോ, കേൾക്കാമോ? ഗുഡ് ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ ടു ആൾ. യെസ്, ആരൊന്നും പറയുന്നില്ല. അറിയില്ല. ഹലോ. യെസ്, ഓക്കെ, യെസ് സർ, യെസ്, ഓക്കെ. അപ്പം അടുത്ത ബുധനാഴ്ച, അതായത് ഓഗസ്റ്റ് 20 ആണ് നമ്മുടെ പരീക്ഷ. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് 100 ചോദ്യങ്ങളാണ്. 100 ചോദ്യങ്ങളുടെ മാതൃകയാണ്. നിങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു എങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കണം എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയുള്ളൊരു രീതിയാണ്. മിക്കവാറും ചോദ്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയുന്നതായിരിക്കും. എന്നാലും ഞാൻ 20 ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ആദ്യം നിങ്ങളെ ഇന്ത്യൻ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ, കറണ്ട് അഫയേഴ്സ്, അതുപോലെ കേരള റെനൈസൻസ്, ഈ 3 മേഖലയിൽ ടീച്ചിങ് ആപ്റ്റ്യൂഡ്, ഈ 4 മേഖലയുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട ഒരു 20 ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ, പിന്നെ നമ്മുടെ മൊഡ്യൂളിനനുസരിച്ചുള്ള കുറച്ച് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. റൈറ്റ്. അപ്പോൾ ഷാൽ വി സ്റ്റാർട്ട് നൗ? ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഇതാണ്. കൺസിഡർ ദ ഫോളോയിങ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ്സ് റിഗാർഡിംഗ് മലബാർ റെബല്യൻ ഓഫ് 1921. It began as a resistance movement against the British authorities and the feudal Hindu lords, Janmis. The wagon tragedy, in which 67 persons suffocated to death in a closed railway goods wagon, was a direct aftermath of this rebellion. Variangunnathu Kunjamudu Haji and Ali Musliar were the 2 of its prominent leaders. Which of the statements given above are correct? See, this is a statement about 1921. കേരളത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഒരു സമരം, കർഷക സമരം, അതാണ് മലബാർ റെബല്യൻ. These are statements about Malabar rebellion. Yes, very good. Okay, Arunima Nair, your answer is absolutely correct. These 3 statements are absolutely correct, So here, answer is 1, 2, 3. All 3 statements are historically accurate. Yes, very good. എല്ലാവരും ശരിയായ ഉത്തരം ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നു. Malabar Rebellion was a complex event with anti-British and anti-landlord sentiments. The wagon tragedy is its most tragic episode. Haji Kunjamad Variangunnath Kunjamad Haji and Ali Muslim were its key leaders. These 3 statements are absolutely correct. Okay. Next question is, Sahodaran Ayyappan started, Sahodaran Ayyappan started a newspaper called Velakkaran for the laborers at Kottayam, Alappuzha, Kodungalur, Thrissur. The question. Sahodaran Ayyappan, Mr. Bojanam. See, Sahodaran Ayyappan started a newspaper called Velakkaran for the laborers at Thrissur, Kottayam, Alappuzha, Kodungalur. What is your answer? Yes. Sahodaran Ayyappan started a newspaper called Velakkaran. Velakkaran was started by Sahodaran Ayyappan. See, this is Kottayam, Alappuzha, Kodungalur, Thrissur. Very good. എന്താണ് സംശയം? യെസ്, സുശാന്തി മനു കറക്റ്റാണ്. സ്നേഹ സണ്ണി കറക്റ്റാണ് കേട്ടോ. ആൻസർ ഈസ് absolutely correct. Kodungalur. Remember this. Sahodaran Ayyappan, Misra Bhojanam, and എന്താണ് Kodungalur, Velakkaran. Next look. The book Prachina Malayalam and the philosophical treatise Advaita Chinta Paddhati were authored by the influential social reformer and scholar of Kerala, Sinarana Guru, Chattambi Swamigal, Vakbadananda, Vaikunta Swamigal. What is your answer? See, Prachina Malayalam and Advaita Chinta Paddhati were, yes, very good, very good. Okay, Ashidas, Hridunanda, Nafisa, Sushanti, Sahara, Nimisha, Ellavarishi, Kanmani, Arunima, very good, very good. Answer is Chattambi Swamigal. Chattambi Swamigal was a profound scholar who challenged Brahminical dominance through his writings. Prachina Malayalam is one of his most significant works. His name, Kunjan Pilla was his name. Purvasravatathinte perenthairunnu Kunjan Pillayanu. Chattambi Swamigal, Sinarana Guru, Sahodaran Ayyappan, Vakbadananda Gurudevan, Ayyangali ഒക്കെ നിങ്ങൾ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ വരും, മനസ്സിലാക്കി വെക്കണം. Then this statement ആണ്. The Punapra Valar uprising in 1946 was an armed communist-led peasant rebel against the rule of C.P. Ramaswamy Iyer, Diwan of Travancore. The primary demand of the uprising was the establishment of American model of executive government in Travancore. Only statement 1 is correct. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Only statement 2 is correct. Both statements are correct. Yes. Sumiyat Valyagat, Rashmi, Ramya Balan, ഒക്കെ ശരി, എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ഇക്കിളിക്കുട്ടൻ എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. Answer is absolutely correct. Both statements are correct. You know that. Say, and sentiment also correct. The uprising was explicitly protest against the Diwan's proposed constitutional model, American model, Arabic Kadalil. ഇതായിരുന്നു മുദ്രാവാക്യം. ഓക്കെ, റഹ്മത്ത് മുല്ലപ്പള്ളി കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. അമേരിക്കൻ മോഡൽ ഓർമ്മിക്കണം. ഇതിന്റെ പേരിലാണ് മോഡൽ എന്നൊരു കഥ എഴുതിയിരുന്നു പൊൻകുന്നം വർക്കി. He was imprisoned. ഒരു സറ്റാറിക്കൽ സ്റ്റോറി ആയിരുന്നു അദ്ദേഹം എഴുതിയത്. പൊൻകുന്നം വർക്കിയുടെ ഒരു കഥയുണ്ട്, മോഡൽ. സർ C.P. രാമസ്വാമിയെ കളിയാക്കുന്ന, ഇറ്റ് വാസ് എ പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ സറ്റയർ. And he was arrested and he was imprisoned. Yes, V.S. Achuthanandan ഇതിന്റെ ഭാഗമായിരുന്നു, നമുക്കറിയാം. Then, fifth question is, look at this question. A.G. Velayudhan, a freedom fighter, died during which of the following struggle? A.G. Velayudhan, a freedom struggle, died during which of the following struggle? Vaikam Satyagraha, Guruvayur Satyagraha, Palayam Satyagraha, Kudamkulam Satyagraha. Yes, Sushantu Manu, Swati, എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് കൺമണി ഒക്കെ ശരിയാണ്. അരുണിമ നായർ കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. വെരി ഗുഡ്. പാലിയം സത്യാഗ്രഹമാണ്. ആൻസർ ഹിയർ ഈസ് ഗിവൺ ഹിയർ. പാലിയം സത്യാഗ്രഹം. ഓക്കെ. Then next question is, the formation of Swaraj Party in 1923 by Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru was a direct result of what? The failure of the Quit India movement, disagreement over the partition of India, a division with the Congress over the strategy of council entry following the suspension of the non-cooperation movement, the success of the Dandi March. Very good. Ranna, Nashida, Sharon Joss, Swati, എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ആൻസർ ഹിയർ ഈസ് C is the answer. You know this. Answer is division within the Congress over strategy of council entry or suspension of non-cooperation government. After Gandhi suspended the non-cooperation movement, post the Chauri Chaura incident, the Congress was divided. The pro-changers like Das, Nehru wanted to enter Legislative Council to obstruct the British rule from within the leading them to form the Swaraj Party. Study this also. Very good. Next one. Seventh question is, which schedule of Indian Constitution deals with the allocation of powers between union and states through the union list and state list and concurrent list? What is your answer? Concurrent list. Which one? What is your answer? Which schedule? Yes, very good. Very good, very good. Arunima Nair, Sumiyat, Revati, Mridul, Sarina, Shiriakirikano, yes, Saranjas, Nashida, Saumya, Ellavarum Shiriakirikano. Answer here is, C is the answer. Seventh schedule. The seventh schedule contains 3 legislative lists like the division of powers of a cornerstone of India's federal structure. Remember this, seventh schedule. Okay. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ കേരള ഹിസ്റ്ററിയും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഇന്ത്യൻ പോളിറ്റിയൊക്കെ ഭംഗിയായി മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. വിവേക് കറക്റ്റാണ്. പ്രധാനമന്ത്രി ജൻ ആരോഗ്യ യോജന, പ്രധാനമന്ത്രി PMJ, Jan Arogya Yojana, also known as Ayushman Bharat, is a flagship government scheme that aims to provide low-interest housing loans for the rural poor, free life insurance cover of all citizens, health insurance coverage of up to 5 lakh per family per year, secondary and tertiary care for hospitalization, a minimum basic income for farmers. Ramya Balan, Ashwati, Rashmi MT, Swadi, Sneha, എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. നഷീദ കറക്റ്റാണ്. ദെൻ ആബിദ കറക്റ്റാണ്. ഹൃനന്ദ കറക്റ്റാണ്. എല്ലാവരും വെരി ഗുഡ്, വെരി ഗുഡ്. ആൻസർ ഈസ് ഹെൽത്ത് ഇൻഷുറൻസ് കവറേജ് ഓഫ് up to 5 lakh per family, secondary and tertiary care hospitalization. Ayushman Bharat PM is the world's largest government-funded health insurance scheme targeting the most vulnerable sections of society. Remember that. Then 8th question is, look at this question. Who won the International Booker Prize in 2024 for the novel Kairos? Yes. What is your answer? Who won? Then, who won? Who won? Answer here is who won? The author. Yes. Who won the Booker Prize for the novel Kairos? Arana. Yes, Srinamadrasa, Deepthi, Rashmiya, ഒക്കെ ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. There's Jenny, Erpenchak, author, Michael Hoffman, translator. You know the answer? Michael Hoffman. This prize recognizes as the best work of fiction translated into English, with the prize money shared equally between the author and the translator. Right. Michael Hoffman is a very good runner. Next one. 10th question is, which institution acts as the regulator of the securities and commodity market in India? Which institution acts as the regulator for the securities and commodity market in India? Which institution? Yes. What is your answer? Which institution acts as the regulator for securities and commodity market in India? Very good. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. You know this? Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI. SEBI is the statutory regulatory body responsible for protecting the interests of investors in securities and promoting development and regulating the securities market. SEBI, very good, very good. Arayam. Next question. Under the Indian Constitution, the power to grant pardons, reprieves, or remissions of punishment, pardoning power, is vested in the power to grant pardons. Prime Minister and the Chief Justice of India, President Article 72 and the Governors of State in Article 61, and the Parliament exclusively, The Supreme Court exclusively. Very good answer. You know, the answer here is yes, B on answer. President, Article 72 and governors. President, Article 72 and the governors, 61. And 61 of the Constitution grant executive pardoning power to the president for union laws and court martials and governor state laws respectively. Right. Priyanka Priya. Supriya Guruvayurappan. Anchu. Sumiyat. Okay, ശരിയാണ് ആൻസർ. Very good. നിങ്ങൾ നന്നായി പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. The term Parampravega. The term is seen in the news, refers to one of India's most powerful ballistic missiles, fight jets, supreme computers, naval destroyers. Yes. Edana. Very good. Supercomputers. You know the answer. Answer here is supercomputers. Pravega is a Prepscale supercomputer installed at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, for National Supercomputing Mission. NSM. Revati Murdal. Correct. Abida. എല്ലാവരും നന്നായി ആൻസർ ചെയ്യുന്നു. Very good. അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നോക്കുക. SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation is a regional intergovernmental organization. Which of the following countries is not a member of SAARC? Bhutan, Afghanistan, Maldives, Myanmar. What is your answer? Yes. Srinabi, Afghanistan ആണോ? Maldives ആണോ? Yes. Nashida B. Question നോക്കണം. SAARC is a regional government organization. Yes, very good. Yes. ശരിയാണോ? Sarina Madrasa. ശരിയാണോ? Yes. What is your answer? Yes. Myanmar. Anupama. Answer is Myanmar. The 8 members SAARC are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Myanmar is a member of ASEAN, not SAARC. See? Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Myanmar is a member of ASEAN, not SAARC. Right? Then, next one is the difference between GDP and GNP, gross national product, is difference between depreciation, indirect tax, net factor income from abroad, subsidies. Yes. What is your answer? Association of Southeast Asian Nation ആണ് ASEAN. കേട്ടാ, ASEAN Association of Southeast Asian Nations ആണ് ASEAN. Right? Then here answer very good. Revati Murdal, Ramya, Abida ഒക്കെ ശരിയാണ്. ദീപ്തി ഏതാണ്? കറക്റ്റ് ആണോ? Net factor income from abroad ആണ്. Answer here is net factor income from abroad. GDP is the value of all goods and services produced within a country's borders. GNP is the value of all goods and services produced by a country's residents, regardless of their location. All produced within the country's borders. GNP is a value of all goods and services produced by country's residents, regardless of location. Difference is the income earned by residents from abroad minus the income earned by the non-resident in the domestic economy. That is called net factor. Ranna. That is next. Okay, thank you. Next question. India's Chandrayaan-3 mission, which successfully soft landed on the moon in 2023, made in India, in the country land near the dash, equator of the moon, south pole of the moon, north pole of the moon, then sea of tranquility. Yes, very good, very good. Answer here is ഏതാണ്? ശരൺ ജോസ് കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്, സുപ്രിയ കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്, അരുണിമ കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. ഓക്കെ. വെരി ഗുഡ്. സൗത്ത് പോൾ ഓഫ് ദ മൂൺ. ആൻസർ ഹിയർ ഈസ് സൗത്ത് പോൾ ഓഫ് ദ മൂൺ. This was a historic achievement, as the lunar south pole is a region of great scientific interest due to the potential presence of water, ice in permanently shadowed craters. Module 3 ആണ്. അടുത്തത് എന്താണ് വരുന്നത് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഈസ് മെത്തഡോളജി ആണ്. According to Jerome Bruner's theory of cognitive development, the converse sequence of the three modes of representation that children experience as their nature is inactive, iconic, and symbolic. So here the sequence inactive, iconic, symbolic. Inactive, symbolic, which is order? Inactive, iconic, symbolic. Yes. Very good, Supriya. Correct ആണ്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാം, കൃത്യമായി അറിയാം. ഏതാണ്? Very good. Inactive, iconic, and symbolic. ഇതാണ് inactive. Answer here is inactive, iconic, and symbolic. See, Bruner proposed that learning first occurs through the action-based, that is called inactive. Representation then iconic. Finally, through symbols, symbolic. That is the order. Right? Very good, Anna. Okay. 17th question. A teacher noticed that her students consistently make the same grammatical error in the writing. She decides to systematically investigate the problem within her own classroom, implement a new teaching strategy, observe the results. This process is a classical example of basic research, summative evaluation, action research, pedagogic analysis. What is your answer? Very good. എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം എന്താണ്? That is nothing but action research. അതാണ്. Action research is a reflective process of problem solving led by individuals or groups to improve their own practices. A cycle of planning, acting, observing, reflecting, and highly relevant for teachers seeking to solve immediate classroom problems. Right. Okay. Next question. 18th question. In the context of micro teaching, stimulus variation refers to the skill of asking a large number of questions in a short time, deliberately changing one's gestures, voice, focusing the interaction styles to secure and sustain pupils' attention, using a variety of teaching aids, varying the difficulty level of content. Yes, you know the answer. Answer here is deliberately changing one's gestures. Stimulus variation. Okay, ശരിയാണ്. ശരവണ, അൻവിക, തീർത്ഥ എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ആൻസർ ഹിയർ ഈസ് deliberately changing one's gestures, voice, focusing, interaction styles to secure, sustain people's attention. Stimulus variation is a key micro-teaching skill aimed at combating monotony in the classroom. It involves planned changes in the teacher's behavior to keep students engaged. Right. ഇതാണ് 19th question ആണ്. Which of the following is an advantage of using matching type test them over the multiple choice item. It is effective for testing higher order thinking skills like the analysis and evaluation. It is a highly efficient way to test a large amount of related factual information, authors and their works, terms and definitions in a compact space. It completely eliminates the possibility of guessing. It is easier to construct well thought out questions. What is your answer? Yes, very good, very good. Okay, Anupama, Parvati, Sahala Salim, Surya MS, Jasmine, Anju, Kanmani, Ellavarum, Parvati. Yes, Supriya, Serena, Ellavarum Shiriyakirikkunnu. Answer here is, it is highly efficient way to test a large amount of related factual information, authors and their works, terms and definitions in a compact space. And here, the primary strength of manufacturing items is their efficiency in testing associations between two sets of information. They are common, compact, and can cover more content in the same space than equal number of multiple choice questions. Remember this also. This is the last question in part A. Yes. A key function of language laboratory in English teaching is to provide a space for students to read literary texts quietly, offer students how to focus listening and speaking practice, often through drills, interactive audio sessions, controlled environment, store scientific equipment for language experiments, conduct final examination for all language skills. Very good. Answer here is B on answer. This is offer, language laboratory specifically designed to improve listening and speaking skills. The use of headsets, individual booths, and master console allows for individualized repetitive practice, which can be difficult to manage in a regular classroom. Idana 20 questions we have so far discussed. ഇതിൽ നിങ്ങൾ മാക്സിമം മാർക്ക് നിങ്ങൾ സ്കോർ ചെയ്യണം. നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം, ഈ ചോദ്യങ്ങളും എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻസും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കൂടുതൽ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ഉത്തരം ചെയ്യാൻ സഹായിക്കും. അപ്പം ഇതിൽ മാർക്ക് നിങ്ങളെ സഹായിക്കും. അതുകൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾ കുറേ ഒന്ന് ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് നോക്കുക. കേരളത്തിലെ നവോത്ഥാന സമരങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഒന്ന് പ്രത്യേകം പഠിക്കുക. പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഭരണഘടന ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. കുറച്ച് കറണ്ട് അഫയേഴ്സ് ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് വെക്കുക. അറിയാം, ടെൻഷൻ വേണ്ട, ഏകദേശം ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയും. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഏരിയയിലേക്ക് നീങ്ങാണ്. അതായത് ഞാൻ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് 80 ചോദ്യങ്ങളാണ്. 80 ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ഞാൻ സ്പീഡിൽ ചെയ്യും, അതുകൊണ്ട് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഇതാണ്. Once more the storm is howling and half hid under his cradle hood and cover lid. These are the first lines of which poem? Yes, very good, very good. You know the answer, very good. W. Yeats's Prayer for My Daughter. Right. ഇത് ഓരോന്നും അറിയണം. 5 years have passed in the length of 5 long winters. സിൽവർ പ്ലാത്ത് അറിയണം. സ്കൈലാർക്കിൻ്റെയും ഫേസ്റ്റ് ലൈൻസ് പഠിച്ചു വെക്കണം. ഹെയിൽ ടു ദി ബ്ലൈറ്റ് സ്പിരിറ്റ്സ് കേട്ടോ. ഈ പ്ലാത്തിൻ്റെ കവിതയും പ്രത്യേകം പഠിച്ചിരിക്കുക. ടിൻഡൻ ആബി ലൈൻസും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ഫേസ്റ്റ് ഇതാണ്. Once more the storm is howling. So here answer is W.H. A prayer for my daughter. The speaker prays his daughter will be chiefly learned in courtesy, and that her heart will be a flourishing hidden tree, suggesting a desire for inner grace and stability over superficial qualities. Right. Very good. നോക്കുക. ഈ കവിത എഴുതിയ വർഷം, അതിൻ്റെ പബ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ഇയർ, ഏത് പബ്ലിക്കേഷനിലാണുള്ളത്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ 23 പോയംസിനെ കുറിച്ച് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയണം. ലിറ്റററി ഡിവൈസസ് അറിയണം. ഒന്ന് ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് നോക്കുക. ദെൻ അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. ഡേവിഡ് ദിയോസ് പെർം ആഫ്രിക്ക യൂസസ് the literary device of apostrophe, which is a distinction that appeals to the 5 senses. A figure of speech in a speaker directly addresses an absent person, an abstract idea or a thing. The repetition of a vowel sound in line of poetry, a comparison between two unlike things using like as. You know the answer. This simple question ആണ്. ഏതാണ് ആൻസർ? ബി ആണ്. റിമെമ്പർ, answer is this. This poem is a direct address to the continent of Africa. Africa, my Africa. Personifying and speaking to it as if it were living. It's a dramatic monologue. Yes. Then, third question is the obituary. Remember, published in 1971 in relationship by A.K. Ramanujan. See, poem of the same name refers to a notice of the speakers on impending death, a newspaper death notice for his father, which ironically fails to capture the reality of the man's life and legacy. Elegy for a famous public figure, a metaphorical death of speakers, ancestral traditions. Remember this. A newspaper, 3Ds ornament, dust, daughters, and deaths. The poem is about ironic and mundane legacy left by his father, contrasting the formal brief newspaper obituary with the complex reality of the man. Right. Next one. What is the central theme of Thomas Gray's Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard? The grandeur of nature, the fleeting nature of life and the quality and the equality of death, the beauty of rural landscapes, the critique of the corruption, vanity of city life. Everybody knows. Yes. Sound break ഉണ്ടല്ലേ? Okay. Answer Archana Nambiar, correct on answer. The fleeting nature of life and equality of death. ഞാൻ ഈ ചോദ്യം പറയുമ്പോൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ ചോദ്യത്തിൽ തന്നെ ഒരുപാട് മറ്റ് ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കാനുള്ള സോഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇവിടെ നോക്കണം നിങ്ങൾ. The Latin word memento mori captures the theme of mortality and the fleeting nature of life. The poem explores the themes. The themes are morality, the passing of time, and the idea that death is a great equalizer, rendering social distinctions irrelevant. Remember that you will die one day. You will die one serving as a reminder of human mortality. Memento mori. Right. ഇത് ഒന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കി വെക്കണം. എത്ര ലൈൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, ഏത് വർഷം എഴുതിയത്, അത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ കൃത്യമായി മനസ്സിലാക്കി വെക്കുക. Next question. The final couplet of Shakespeare's Sonnets 121. It is better to be vile than vile esteemed offers, which concluding thought that all men are bad, and they only triumph by speaking ill of others' seeming faults, that the speaker will reform his ways and live a virtuous life, that the speaker does not care about the opinions of others, that true virtue is always rewarded in the end. Very good, very good. എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം, ഇതൊക്കെ പഠിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. ഭംഗിയായ ആൻസർ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാം. 1 is the answer. that all men are bad and the only triumph by speaking ill of others seeming fault. The sonnet argues against being judged by others who are themselves flawed. At the final lines, unless this general evil they maintain, all men are bad and their badness reign, provided a cynical conclusion, that is, accusers are universally flawed themselves. Right? 154 and 37 plays broadly carried into three groups. 1 to 6 explore themes of beauty, love, and morality. They were addressed to a young man, often interpreted as partner, patron, or love interest, fair youth. 127-54 addresses to a mysterious woman, often depicted as seductive and enigmatic, dark lady. 70 to 86 addressing a rival poet. Right. Remember this also. Next question is, the poem Ode on a Grishnaard was initially published anonymously in the art magazine. In the art magazine? Yes, very good, Sajida. Anchu, ellarku araya, Annals of the Fine Arts. Annals of the Fine Arts. Grishnaard. നോക്കണം നിങ്ങൾ. Ode on a Grishnaard. Annals of the Fine Arts. Written in the spring of 1819, published in 1820. 5 stanzas and 50 lines. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Encapsulates the romantic ideal that the creations of the imagination hold a higher, more perfect truth than physical reality. Right. Then, next question is, this grew, I gave comments. This grew, I gave comments. Line of what grew? Line what grew on. This grew, I gave comments. You know the poem? Very good. Yes, very good. This grew means her gentle and pleasant manners and her generous, sympathetic nature. Duchess. You know the answer? Very good, very good. This grew. Her gentle and pleasant manners. This grew. It is a classical dramatic monologue. A single speaker duke addresses silent but unidentifiable listener, the envoy, in a specific situation, and in the process inadvertently reveals his own character. In my last lectures, inadvertently reveals his own character. Ferrara is an Italian city. Remember, published in 1842. First name was Italy. The present title was given in 1849. Remember all these things. Right. Next question is 28th question ആണ്. എന്താണ് ചോദ്യം ഇത്? Which of the following historical incident has been referred to in the poem Aboriginal Australia by Jack Davies? Yes, very good. Very good, Supriya. Nature spell, Sajida, Khilal, എല്ലാവരും പഠിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. നന്നായി ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, കവിതയിലെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ വളരെ പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ആയിരിക്കുന്നു. ഇർക്കാല, ഇറാക്കാല, ലേക്ക് ജോർജ് ഇൻഡൻസ്, മക്ലാറ്റീസ്, റൺ, all of the above. You know this. All of the above. ഓർമ്മിക്കണം, it is a protest poem. Jardu, a poem collection. The tribe related to Irakala plea is Yolgi. No Sugar is a play by Jack Davies. Remember all these things. Jardu. Protest poem. Okay. Next one. In Mina Alexander's House of Thousand Doors, the imagery of sills cut in red earth, a child's torn kite, primarily evokes a sense of, yes, very good, Jagardu alla, you are correct, Jagardu, Jagardu, the spelling on Jagardu, correct, right. ഏതാണ് personal collective memory, rooted in a specific place but also fragmented and fragile. Answer here is the red earth roots the house in a specific Indian landscape, Kerala. Red earth. While torn kite suggests childhood, loss, and brokenness, the house becomes a repository of these fragmented memories, symbolizing the speaker's complex and layered identity. Right. Next one is, in Shelley's Skylark, the poet is ultimately unable to define the bird's song because, yes, Mina Alexander's poem ആണ്. ഇനി 30th question ആണ്. In Shelley's To a Skylark, the poet is ultimately unable to define the bird's song because, yes, very good. Everybody knows. Very good, very good, very good. എല്ലാവരും ശരിയായിരിക്കുന്നു. The bird's song represents a pure, unadulterated joy that is unknown to humankind, which is always touched by pain and sorrow. Our sincerest laughter, some pain is fraught. Bird song represents a pure, unadulterated joy that is unknown to mankind, which is always touched by pain and sorrow. The poem's central premise is that Skylark is a blithe spirit whose sweet thoughts are free from the human condition, looking before and after. The human condition is looking before and after and pining for what is not. The bird's word thoughts are free from the human condition. Right. So answer is C is the answer. Then, in Shakespeare's Macbeth, the character of the porter scene, who appears immediately after the murder of Duncan, provides a detailed eyewitness account of the murder, Prose about Macbeth's downfall, a moment of dark, drunken, comic relief that ironically commends the nature and equivocation and damnation. You know the answer. Comic relief. Equivocation and damnation. So answer here is a moment of dark, drunken, comic relief that ironically comments on the nature of equivocation and damnation. The porter's drunken ramblings about being the gatekeeper of hell provide a grimly humorous and thematically relevant interlude between the intense horror and the murder and the shock of its discovery. Right. This is the answer. Thomas Dickens-ine ഓർമ്മിക്കണം, പോട്ടർ സീനിന്റെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് അറിയണം. Next question is, what is significant of the slippers that Henry Higgins throws at Eliza shows in Pygmalion? Yes, they symbolize Higgins' complete disregard for her as a human being, treating her as an object of his experiment, which prompts her rebellion. That is the answer. They symbolize Higgins' complete disregard for her as a human being, treating her as an object, his experiment, which prompts her rebellion. The act of Higgins casually asking Eliza to fetch his slippers after the triumph at the party without a word of praise for her is the final straw. Is objectification of her and that triggers her of independence. Right, Pygmalion. Next question is, in Ibsen's Doll's House, what illness does Dr. Rank suffer from which he inherited from his father? Everybody knows. This is a simple question. എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം ഏതാണ് ആൻസർ. This tuberculosis ആണ്. Consumption of spine ആണ് tuberculosis. അതാണ്. Dr. Rank's hereditary illness symbolizes the corrupting influence of the past and the hidden sickness within the seemingly respectable bourgeois society. That seemingly respectable bourgeois society is a foil to the apparently healthy but morally sick Torvald. He is a foil to the apparently healthy but morally sick Torvald. Right, remember that. Then, next question is 34th question. What is shocking revelation that revolves the plot of Wilde's importance of being honest? Yes. What is shocking revelation? What is shocking revolution? And that revelation. What is shocking revelation that resolves the plot of Wilde's, the importance of being honest? ഏതാണ്? Yes, very good. Tirtha Prakash, Anchu, എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം. Jack discovers that he is in fact Algernon's older brother and his real name is the Honest. Yes. Discovers the play's farcical plot is untangled when it is discovered that Jack was the baby Miss Prism, lost in a handbag, and that he is the son of Lady Bracknell, sister, making him Algernon's brother, and his christened name is genuinely Ernest. Right. Then brother's son. Then the seemingly nonsensical and frantic monologue delivered by Lucky in Waiting for Godot is primarily a parody of. Yes. The seemingly nonsensical and frantic monologue delivered by Lucky in Waiting for Godot is primarily a parody of political speech, academic and theological and philosophical discourse, Shakespearean soliloquy, a lover's romantic plea. Very good, very good. Beyond academic and theological discourse. Remember, academic, theological and philosophical discourse ആണ് Lucky's tirade. അറിയാം. Tirade means angry speech. Beginning എന്താണ്? Given the existence of a personal God is a garbled mashup of academic jargon, religious dogma, and philosophical reasoning, which ultimately collapses into incoherence, absurdity, satirizing humanity's failed attempts to find meaning. Study the explanations well. Lucky's tirade. Then, 36th question. In the Glass Menagerie, the fire escape is a powerful symbol primarily representing Tom's desperate desire to escape the suffocating confines of his family and his life, Laura's fear of the outside world, Amanda's hope for a gentleman caller to rescue the family. A family's poverty and precarious social position. What is your answer? Edana. Yes, very good. Very good. You know, Tom's desperate desire to escape the suffocating confines of his family. The answer here is Tom's desperate desire to escape the suffocating confines of his family and his life. Tom frequently steps out onto the fire escape to smoke and dream, as the play's narrator explicitly calls it a symbol of the slow and implacable fires of human desperation. Right. Kavya Krishna, correct aanu. Shifa, correct aanu. Anupama, correct aanu. Rishmi, correct aanu. Sahara Vision vlogs correct aanu. Shobita, എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. സന്തോഷം. നിങ്ങൾ നന്നായി പഠിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു. ഇനിയും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക, ടെൻഷൻ ഇല്ലാതെ എല്ലാം ശരിയാക്കണം പരീക്ഷയ്ക്ക്. His betrayal of his wife Linda and his guilt over his infidelity. Here the question, death of a salesman. Next question is, say 38 question aanu. Yes. The plot Girish Karnad's Nagamandala is resolved when Rani 37th question. 37th question is this. In Death of a Salesman, what do the silk stockings that Willie gives to the woman his mistress symbolize? Yes, very good. His betrayal of his wife, Linda, and his guilt over his infidelity. 37 aanu. Okay, correct answer. Answer here is his betrayal of his wife, Linda, guilt over his infidelity. The stockings are a potent symbol of Willie's guilt. He becomes enraged when he sees Linda mending her old stockings, as it reminds him of his failure and betrayal, having given new ones to his mistress. Right. Then, 30th question is this. The plot of Girish Karnad's Nagamandala is resolved when Rani is asked to prove her fidelity by undergoing an ordeal. What is this ordeal? Holding a venomous cobra in her hands. Holding a venomous cobra in her hands to prove she has not been unfaithful. Rani must undergo a trial by ordeal. She puts her hand into the anthill, and the divine cobra comes out and spreads his hood over her like a halo, proving her purity to the village. Right. Then, next question is, the main action of James Singh's Radiosi takes place in answer is a cottage on Aran Islands of the west coast of Ireland. Right? The setting is crucial to the play's atmosphere and the theme. Aran Islands provide the stark elemental backdrop for the characters' fatalistic struggle against the sea. Or a cottage, kitchen. Okay. The next question is, in Sheridan's School for Scandal, how does Sir Oliver Surface test the characters of his new Charles and Joseph? Yes. What is your answer? Yes, everybody knows. He visits them in disguise. Moneylender Mr. Premium and a poor Mr. Stanley. Answers. Answer here. He visits them in disguise as a moneylender, Mr. Premium, and a poor relation, Mr. Stanley. Sir Oliver uses these disguises to test their true natures. He discovers that the sentimental Joseph is a hypocrite who refused to help his poor relations, while the dissolute Charles, despite selling the family portraits, refuses to sell the portrait of Sir Oliver, showing his good heart. Remember this. Then, 9 out of 10 malicious inventions are founded on some ridiculous misinterpretation. Who said it? Yes. Who said it? 9 out of 10 malicious inventions are founded on some ridiculous misinterpretation. Who stated it? Arana. Allah. Yes. Sir Oliver Rana. Allah. 9 out of 10 malicious inventions are founded on some ridiculous misinterpretation. Who stated it? Yes, very much. Anupama correct. Rashmi correct. Sajida Siriyalla. Shaila Salim correct. Edana. Sir Peter Teasel. Sir Revadi Mrudul correct. Sir Peter Teasel. Sharina correct. Shifa correct. Ramya correct. So answer is here, Sir Peter Teasel. Sir Peter Teasel. Remember this. 9 out of 10 malicious inventions are founded on some ridiculous misinterpretation. Answer here, then. What is the ultimate fate of the windmill in Orwell's Animal Farm? Yes. Animal farmer. Yes. It is successfully completed and makes the farm prosperous for all animals. It is abandoned halfway through due to lack of resources. It is built and rebuilt at great cost, only to be destroyed by humans and later used by the enriched pigs. Very good. You know the answer. Answer here is, it is built and rebuilt at a great cost, only to be destroyed by humans and later used to enrich the pigs. See, the windmill symbolizes the empty promises of the regime. The animal's immense labor is exploited. The windmill is destroyed in battle and finally rebuilt. It is used for milling corn, to be sold for the pigs' profit, not for providing electricity to the animals. Right. Then, the castle of Otranto is an example of. The castle of Otranto is an example of. Very good. You know, castle of Otranto is an example of Gothic fiction. Wuthering Heights നമുക്കറിയാം. Castle of Gothic fiction. Right. Then, next question is, womanism is a woman's liberative concept that runs through the works of dash Emily Dickinson, Sylvia Plath, Arundhati Roy, Toni Morrison. Yes, Shobita. Swati, correct. Womanism is woman's liberty concept that runs through the works of Emily Dickinson, Sylvia Plath, Arundhati Roy, Toni Morrison. Okay, very good, very good. Shifa, Jasmine, Sahila Salim, Rashmi MT, Kavya Krishna. ഒക്കെ ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. അതി ശരിയാണ്. രേവതി, ജിംഷിത റെഡിയാണ്, കറക്റ്റാണ്. ടോണി മൊറൈസൺ ആണ് ആൻസർ. ടോണി മൊറൈസൺ. Then, in Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, Who is Soaphead Church? Yes. Who is Soaphead Church? Aran. Tony Morrison's. Who is Soaphead Church? B. Anna. Yes. Very good, very good. The reader, advisor, and interpreter of dreams, whom Pecola asked to give her bluest eyes. Right. Soaphead Church is a pathetic and perverse character. Perverse character. Final act of cruel kindness convinces Pecola that he has granted her wish for blue eyes, pushing her into complete madness. Reader, advisor, interpreter of dreams, whom Pecola asked to give her bluest eyes. Right. What do the lions symbolize in the old Mandazi? What do the lions symbolize in the old Mandazi? Yes, Anupamasi, yes, correct. Manjusha, correct. Adi, correct. Sneha Sunny, correct. Lakshmi, correct. Jasmine, correct. Swadi, okay. Okay. Anchu, Sharan Jos, correct. Lost youth. Answer here is lost youth. See, Manolin's devotion to Santiago provides the emotional heart of the story. He cares for the old man and represents the continuity of the fishing tradition and human connection, promising to fish with him again at the end. Remember, the functions of a teacher, Bertrand Russell argues that a teacher should instill in the young a sense of what? Yes, sense of what? And sense of, എന്താണ് answer? Sense of, very good, impartial inquiry and habit of weighing evidence, free from the influence of authority and propaganda. Answer here is impartial inquiry and a habit of weighing evidence, free from the influence of authority and propaganda. Russell saw the teacher's primary function as fostering intellectual freedom and a critical mindset, enabling the students to form their own judgments based on evidence rather than accepting received opinions. Yes. Tennyson's Ulysses, Two Voices, and the early fragments of In Memoriam were directly associated with the memory of Milton, Shakespeare, Keats, Arthur Hallam. Okay, everybody knows Arthur Hallam. എന്താണ് Arthur Hallam? Answer here is Arthur Hallam, a close associate of Lord Tennyson. In Memoriam is an elegy written by Tennyson on the death of Arthur Hallam. The poem, Because I Could Not Suffer Death, was edited by her two friends, Michael Loomis Todd and Thomas Wentworth Higginson. The editors titled the poem dash. Very good. Everybody knows The Chariot. Okay, very good, very good. Very good. ശരിയാണ്. Chariot ആണ്. Then, in the trumpet club, the members showed their approval of a statement made by the club in clapping their hands, murmuring and spitting, praising their glasses for a toast, tapping their pipes on the table. What is your answer? In trumpet club. Yes, very good. Answer is murmuring and spitting. Murmuring and spitting. This is one of the kooky, humorous details of Steele's. The members, being old and set in their ways, have this peculiar method of showing assent. murmuring and spitting. The assent. Okay. Next question is, Aristotle's 6 constituent parts of a tragedy: plot, character, definition, thought, spectacle, and everybody knows there is a very silly question, song or melody. Answer here is song or melody. In the Poetics, Aristotle lists these 6 elements in order of importance, with the plot being the soul of tragedy and song and spectacle being the least essential, considered accessories. Right, very good. Then, next. But my sad wound body felt so beaten. But my sad one body felt so beaten. What does the poet mean by this? Yes. What does the poet mean by this? Anupama, answer ശരിയാണോ? Yes, Anupama, correct. You are correct. Okay, correct. Jasmine, introduction ആണ്. Soumya, correct ആണോ? Supriya, Remya, everybody, okay. Her sexual life was painful. She was treated only as an object. She was unhappy with her married life. So answer is all of these. Answer is D, all of these. Next question is this, all of these. 53. In Biographia Literaria, Coleridge distinguishes between the primary and secondary imagination. The primary imagination is defined as the creative faculty used only by great poets, the living power and prime agent of all human perception, a repetition in the finite mind of the eternal act of creation in the infinite I am. Then a mechanical faculty that merely reassembles pre-existing ideas, the ability to create fantastic and unreal worlds. Very good, Rashmi, Revati Mridul, Anchu, Sushanti Manu. Okay, ശരിയാണ്. Answer here is the living power and prime agent of all human perception. A repetition. Living power and prime agent of all human perception. A repetition in the finite mind of the central act of in the infinite I am. Coleridge defines the primary imagination as the basic universal human faculty that allows us to perceive the world as a unified whole. Study this. The secondary imagination, which only poets possess, is an echo of this, but is a more conscious and creative power. The secondary imagination. Right. You study this explanation also. അപ്പോൾ അത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആൻസർ ചെയ്യാൻ സഹായിക്കും. ഒരു ഓവറോൾ കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. The term humanism as a literary and cultural movement during the Renaissance refers to focus on charity and helping the poor, intellectual movement that emphasized the study of classical Greek and Latin literature to understand human nature and potential, often in contrast to medieval scholasticism. Humans are superior to nature. Rejection of all religious belief. You know the answer. Answer here is that. Intellectual movement that emphasizes the study of classical Greek and Latin literature to understand human nature and potential, often contrast to medievalism. Renaissance humanism was a revival of classical learning that placed man, his abilities, and his earthly life at the center of the study, rather than focusing solely on divine and theological matters. Right. Then next question is here 55th question ഇതാണ്. According to Indian aesthetic theory of rasa, the permanent or dominant emotional state that resides in the spectator and is awakened by the performance is called, yes, is called, what is it called? ആ വാക്ക് ചോദ്യത്തിന് ഉത്തരമുണ്ട്. According to Indian aesthetics, yes, very good, സ്ഥായി ഭാവ. വിഭവ, അനുഭവ, സ്ഥായി ഭാവ, വ്യഭിചാരി ഭാവ. ഏതാണ്? What is answer? സ്ഥായി ഭാവ, the permanent mood. Very good. സ്ഥായി ഭാവ എന്താണ്? ലവ്, സോറോ, ആങ്കർ is the stable human emotion that is transformed into aesthetic delight of rasa through the combination of the other elements, vibhava, anubhava, presented in the art form. You study this also. ഓർമ്മിക്കുക, സ്ഥായി ഭാവ അത് ധ്വനി ആണ്. രസാധ്വനി ഇന്ത്യൻ സ്റ്റാറ്റിസ്റ്റിക്സിന്റെ ഭാഗമാണ്. ഇതിലാണ് നമുക്ക് രണ്ട് ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ, അതായത് ധ്വനി സിദ്ധാന്തം, അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. ആ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനിൽ ഫുൾ മാർക്ക് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണം. അതിൽ മാർക്ക് നമ്മൾ നഷ്ടപ്പെടുത്താൻ പാടില്ല. എന്തായാലും രണ്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ അതിലുണ്ടാവും. സ്ഥായി ഭാവ ഓർമ്മിക്കാതെ. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി അടുത്തത് നോക്കാം. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഇതാണ്. ഫോർമലിസ് ആണ്. റഷ്യൻ ഫോർമലിസത്തെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള ചോദ്യമാണ്. 56th ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഇതാണ്. വിച്ച് ഓഫ് ദ ഫോളോയിങ് ഈസ് എ കീ ടീനറ്റ് ഓഫ് റഷ്യൻ ഫോർമലിസം? Literature should be analyzed primarily for its social and political message. The focus of literary study should be on the literalness of the text. Specific formal devices like rhythm, rhyme, and post structure that distinguishing it from ordinary language. The reader's personal response is the most important aspect of literary meaning. Literature is a direct expression of the author's unconscious desires. Yes, very good. Russian formalism, Mikhail Bakhtin നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയണം. Answer here is B is the answer. The focus of literary study should be literariness of a text. Specific formal devices like rhyme, rhythm, rhyme, and plot structure that distinguishes it from ordinary language. The formalists sought to create scientific study of literature by focusing internal mechanics and formal properties, famously defining literature as a organized violence committed on ordinary speech. Right. Then 57th question ഇതാണ്. Following are statements relating to T.S. Eliot's essay, Tradition, Individual Talent. The essay was first published in 1919 and was later included in Eliot's collection, The Second Wood, in 1920. Poetry is not a turning loose of emotion, but an escape from emotion. It is not the expression of personality, but an escape from personality. This statement presents the critic of Wordsworth's definition of poetry in his preface. To drive home the concept of impersonality in art, Eliot uses the example of gas chamber into which hydrogen and sulfur dioxide are put in the presence of filiated platinum. Which of the given statements are true? Yes, very good. Kanmani, Soumya, Arunima Nayar, കാവ്യ, അനുപമ CS, നിങ്ങൾ ട്രഡീഷണൽ ടാലൻറ്റ് തറവാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. വളരെ നല്ല കാര്യം. വെരി ഗുഡ്. ആൻസർ ഈസ് ആബ്സല്യൂട്ട്ലി കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. എന്താണ്? ദിസ് ആൻസർ ഈസ് കറക്റ്റ്. ആൻസർ ഈസ് വാട്ട്? ആൻസർ ഈസ് 1 and 2 only ആണ്. All of these, 1 and 2 only. And here 58 നോക്ക്. Elin Showalter's concept of gynocriticism. Elin Showalter's concept of gynocriticism calls for a critique of misogynistic stereotypes in literature written by men, the development of new critical models and theories based on the study of women's writing, history and experience, a focus only on lesbian writers, an equal representation of male and female critics in academia. What is your answer? And the answer here is an equal representation of male and female critics in academia. Gynocriticism moves beyond simply reacting to male literature, feminist critique, to establish a distinct tradition and framework for analyzing literature produced by women. Literature produced by women. ഇതാണ് 58 question answer. Then 59 questions നോക്കുക. ഇത് വരുന്നില്ല. 59 question നോക്കുക. 59. The term postmodernism is used to describe. The term postmodernism is to describe a set of artistic and cultural practices that are often characterized by all in the following except pastiche, irony and playful self-consciousness, return of grand narratives and universal truths, a blurring of the lines between high and low culture, a belief in the artist as unique genius whose work provides unified, stable meaning. What is your answer? 59th question on postmodernism. Set of artistic cultural practices. Yes. The answer here is, what is your answer? Postmodernism കുറിച്ചുള്ള ചോദ്യമാണത്. Yes. B ആണ്. ആണോ? Grand narratives ആണോ? Answer yes, very good. Sneha Sunny, Arunima, correct ആണ്. A belief in the artist as a unique genius. A belief in the artist as a unique genius whose work unified stable meaning. Postmodernism profoundly distrusts concepts like artistic genius and the idea of a single stable meaning. It celebrates instability, fragmentation, instability and depth of the author, which is the opposite of the belief described in option D. Right. Okay. Next one. There is nothing outside the text is the most frequently quoted line from. There is nothing outside the text is the most frequently quoted line from. Yes, line from. Rashmi, there is no wrong birth. Anubama C is correct. Arunima correct. No. Derrida. Answer is Derrida. Right. Then the book which can be said to inaugurate post-colonial criticism is the book which can be said to inaugurate post-colonial criticism is Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth, Edward Said's Orientalism, Guthrie Stewart's In Other Words, Roland Barthes' The Death of an Author. Yes, very good. Edward says Orientalism. Post-colonial criticism. Answer here is Edward says Orientalism. Is the answer. Very good. Then, the use of rising and falling pitch patterns across a sentence to convey attitude. Grammatical function, example Q, statement, known as, what is it known as? Rising, very good. Intonation. Answer here is intonation. Intonation refers to the music of speech, the variation of pitch over an utterance, which plays a crucial role in conveying meanings beyond the words themselves. Then, in the semantic relationship of hyponymy, the word poodle is a hyponym of the word. Yes, hyponym is a word. What is the answer? Hyponymy, the word poodle is a hyponym of the word animal, dog, pet, mammal. Yes, very good. Answer here is dog. Hyponymy is a kind of relationship. A poodle is a kind of dog. The more general term for dog is the hyponym, and the more specific term is poodle, is the hyponym. While a poodle is also an animal, dog is the immediate superordinate. Right. Then, the formation of the word laser from the phrase light amplifier stimulated the emission of radiation is acronomy. Acronomy answer. Acronyms, a word formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as a single word. Right. Which of the following statements about Australian English is generally true? Which of the following statements about Australian English is generally true? It is a rhotic dialect similar to American English. It features a distinctive use of diminutives, Barbie for barbecue, RO for afternoon. It does not have any unique vocabulary and is identical to British English. It uses rising intonation statements more than any other dialect. Yes, what is your answer? Your answer here is endana. Australian English bandhappetta vaakkaanu. What is your answer? It refers to Australian English. Edana. What is your answer? Yes, very good. This use of diminutives like Barbie. Answer here is edana. It features Barbie for barbecue, RO. The creative and frequent use of diminutives, one of the most well-known features of informal Australian English. Then, the two articles, here the two main articulators that are brought together to produce a velar sound like k or g r. Like a velar sound k, g, r, dash, the tip of the tongue and the teeth, the two lips, the back of the tongue and soft palate, the blade of the tongue and the hard palate. Yes, very good. The back of the tongue, you know that the back of the tongue and the soft palate. The velar sounds are produced by raising the back of the tongue and the soft palate or velar. Then, in TG grammar, the sentence that is embedded into other is known as. In TG grammar, the sentence that is embedded into other is known as constituent, surface, alternate, binding. No. Yes. Revati Mudul, ശരിയാണോ? Sentence that is embedded into other is known as. എന്താണ്? ശരിയല്ല. Answer here is what? Known as constituent. A constituent clause, embedded or subordinate clause is a part of another clause. Noun clause, adjective clause or adverb clause. ഇതിന്റെ ക്ലോസ് മാർക്കേഴ്സ് ഏതാണ്? That, because, although or relative. Pronoun like who, which, that. നോക്കണം. I think that she will come tomorrow. Noun clause ആണ്. I think that she will come tomorrow. The book that you gave me is interesting. ഇതാണ്. ഇതിനെ എന്ത് പറയാ? കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവന്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. റൈറ്റ്? കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവന്റ് ക്ലോസ് എന്ന് പറയും. That is called constituent clause. Right? So answer here is A is the answer. Okay. Normally, the word ends in TION. Stress is on. Stress falls on dash. Last syllable. Last but one syllable. Any syllable. First syllable. What is your answer? Yes, very good. Last but one syllable on answer. Last but one syllable on answer. Right. Next question. In English, stress-timed rhythm means that every syllable in a sentence receives equal stress. The time between stress syllables is roughly equal, causing unstressed syllables to be compressed. The first syllable of every word is always stressed. The rhythm is determined by the number of syllables not stressed. Yes, very good. 69B on answer. Answer here is B on. The time between stressed syllables roughly equal, causing unstressed syllables to be compressed. English is a stress-timed language. This is what gives it its characteristic rhythm to syllable-timed language like French, Spanish, where each syllable takes up roughly the same amount of time. Then, in the pronunciation of the ink, the alveolar n becoming a velar sound is instance of progressive, reciprocal, regressive, none of these. In the pronunciation of ink, what is your answer? In the pronunciation of ink ആണ്, ink. ശരിയാണോ? ink ആണ്. ഇതാണ്. What is called? That is called regressive. Right, Soumya? Correct ആണ്. Regressive. Next question. I cannot dash with the opinion his facts are simply wrong. I cannot dash with his opinion. His facts are simply wrong. Concur, conquer, confer, conjure. I cannot dash with his. I cannot dash with his opinion. His facts are dash. എന്താണ്? ശരിയാണോ? കൺഫർ ആണോ? I cannot dash with his opinion. His facts are simply wrong. ശരിയാണോ സെറീന? സൈദ? ശരിയല്ല. ഉത്തരം എന്താണ്? I cannot concur. Concur means to agree ആണ്. Conquer means to overcome ആണ്. Confer means discuss or grant ആണ്. Secure on commonly confused word. Question on commonly confused words ആണ്. So answer is concur. Concur means agree or assent. Then, at last the terrorist dash gave up, gave in, gave away, none of these. At last the terrorist dash എന്താണ്? Yes, gave up. റിംഷ കറക്റ്റ് ആണോ? അല്ല. സൗമ്യ? No. The terrorists gave in. Give up means abandon. Give away means distribute. Here it means surrender or yield. At last, gave in. Give went to means express freely. Express freely. She gave in to her feelings. Gave in. Give up means abandon. Forsake. Desert. He gave up. Right. Given means surrendered. Gave in. Right. Next question is, choose the sentence with the correct subject-verb agreement. Choose the sentence with the correct subject-verb agreement. Concord. Choose the sentence with the correct subject-verb agreement. The committee has submitted its report. The jury is divided in their opinions. Neither the students nor the teacher was present. Each of the boys have a separate room. Yes. Sala Salim correct ആണ്. രമ്യ ബാലൻ correct ആണ്. പാച്ചൂസ് correct ആണ്. Yes. correct ആണ്. സാറ correct ആണ്. ഒക്കെ ശരിയാണ്. നമുക്കറിയാം. ഇവിടെ കമ്മിറ്റി ഹാവ് ദർ ആയിരിക്കണം. കമ്മിറ്റി ഹാസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ്സ് ഓക്കെ. The committee is a collective noun. When we talk about the members, we use have. And the pronoun should be the. Committee singular entity ആണെങ്കിൽ singular verb മതി. Has. പിന്നെ it's is correct. അതുപോലെ jury. ഇതുപോലത്തെ jury ആണ്. The committee, jury, family, audience, government. Collective nouns ആണ്. We can use both singular and plural verbs. But a jury are divided. Correct. Is anangile it's. The jury is divided in its opinion. Jury are divided in their opinions. This is correct. Neither the students nor the teacher. Proximity concord. Nearness. Nor അടുത്ത് സിംഗുലർ വേർബ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് സിംഗുലർ സബ്ജക്റ്റ്. സിംഗുലർ വേർബ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് ദിസ് ഇസ് കറക്റ്റ്. ഇവിടെ ഈച്ച് ഓഫ് ദ ബോയ്സ് ഹാവ് അല്ല ഹാസ്. വൺ ഓഫ്, ഈച്ച് ഓഫ്, എവറി വൺ ഓഫ്, neither of, either of, the number of, plus plural verbs, plural nouns plus singular verbs are. One of my boy friends are, not friend, is coming. ഇത് ഓർമ്മിക്കണം. ഇവിടെ neither nor വരുമ്പോൾ proximity ആണ്. Neither you nor I am is taken. Either you or I am. Either or, neither nor. Not only but also. Relative pronouns വരുമ്പോൾ Wordsworth is one of the poets who have written about nature. Poets who have written about nature. Remember that. So here concord നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കണം. ഒന്ന് syntactical ആണ്, that is grammatical. Syntax, practical. Another is എന്താണ് proximity, nearness ആണ് proximity. And the third one is notional. നമ്മൾ ഓർമ്മിക്കുകയാണ് നോഷണൽ ആണ്. കമ്മിറ്റി, ഗവൺമെന്റ്, അത് സിംഗുലറായും പ്ലൂറലായും നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. റിമെമ്പർ ദാറ്റ്. Then neither the students nor the teacher was present. Neither nor connects two subjects. The verb agrees with the subject closer to it. Teacher was. In A and B there is mismatch between pronoun and verb. Committee is, have, jury there is. Each singular ആണ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് has ആണ്. ഓക്കെ, അടുത്ത് നോക്കുക. The idiom beat around the bush means, what does it mean? Beat about the bush അല്ലെ beat around the bush. What does it mean? Yes, you know that. Deviate from the main point ആണ്. Beat about the bush എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അർത്ഥം deviate from the main point. You know the word. Avoid talking about the main topic and speak the roundabout way ആണ്. This idiom refers to the act of delaying or avoiding the central, often difficult point of a conversation. നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം prevaricate എന്ന് പറയും. PREVARICATE, prevaricate. Circumlocation എന്ന് പറയും. Circumlocation. ഇതറിയാം. ഇതൊക്കെ എന്താണ്? prevaricate means lie ആണ്. To hide the, say something in order to hide the truth ആണ് prevaricate, prevarication. Another word is circumlocation. ഇതാണെന്ത്? roundabout way of saying something. Circumlocation ആണ്. equivocate. ഇനി പഠിക്കേണ്ട വാക്കാണ് gift of the gab. Gift of the gab means talent for speaking. അത് ഓർമ്മിക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ നോക്കുക. എന്താണ്? ചൂസ് ദ കറക്റ്റ് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ്. എംബറാസ്മെന്റ്, കമ്മിറ്റി, മിലീനിയം, ഒക്കേഷൻ. ഇത് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് വന്നു. ചൂസ് ദ കറക്റ്റ് വേർഡ് ചോദിച്ചത്. ഒന്ന് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ഇവിടെ എംബറാസ്മെന്റ് ആണ്. EMBA ഡബിൾ കറക്റ്റ് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ആണിത് കേട്ടോ. എംബറാസ്മെന്റ്. EMBA RRASSMENT ആണ്. കമ്മിറ്റി കറക്റ്റ് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ആണ്. മിലീനിയം കറക്റ്റ് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ആണ്. ഒക്കേഷൻ കറക്റ്റ് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ആണ് കേട്ടോ. ചൂസ്. ശരിക്കും എന്താ വേണ്ടത്? മിലീനിയം. MILLENNIUM ആണ്. ഒക്കേഷൻ എംബറാസ്മെന്റ് ആണ്. ഇവിടെ മിലീനിയം ആൻഡ് ഒക്കേഷൻ. ഒക്കേഷൻ, കമ്മിറ്റി, എംബറാസ്മെന്റ് RR വേണം, SS വേണം. മിലീനിയം, അതാണ് മിലീനിയം. കറക്റ്റ് സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ആണ്. ഒക്കേഷൻ, റൈറ്റ്. NB ആണ് കമ്മിറ്റി. ദെൻ മിലീനിയം കണ്ടോ? എംബറാസ്മെന്റ്, കമ്മിറ്റി, മിലീനിയം ആൻഡ് ഒക്കേഷൻ. മിലീനിയം ആണ്. Then select the most appropriate one word substitute for a person who can is both hands. Yes, what is your answer? Select the most appropriate one word substitute for a person who can use both his hands. You know the word ambidextrous. Skeptical means a person doubt something. About the doubt about something, about the authenticity of, doubt about the truth of something. അതാണ് skeptical ആണ്. dubious ആണ്. doubtful ആണ്. doubtful, അതാണ് skeptical. Doubt about the claim of a truth ആണ് skeptical. Claim of a truth ആണ് skeptical. Stoic means indifferent to pleasure and pain ആണ്. Indifferent. to pleasure and pain ആണ്. Panacea means cure all ആണ്. Cure all. So answer here is ambidextrous. Panacea is a solution, remedy for all difficulties, diseases, and antidote എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ counteracts poison ആണ്. Ambidextrous means a person who can use his both ambidextrous. A person who can use his both hands. Right. Then, next question is, choose the word that is most nearly opposite meaning of taciturn. Taciturn in the opposite എന്താണ്? Yes. Talkative ആണ്. Talkative. Talkative എന്ന് പറയാൻ നമുക്കറിയാം. Garrulous. Loquacious. ഇതാരാണ്? Talkative ആണ്. Voluble. ഇതിന്റെ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് ആണ് taciturn. Taciturn. Reserved. Reserved. Reserved ആണ്. Reticent. Another word is reticent. R-E-T-I-C-N-T. Reticent. Next one. Talkative. Who is reserved and uncommunicative in speech, saying little. Talkative or garrulous. Study this word. அடுத்த question. Arrange the parts PQRS to create meaningful sentence. Is the foundation of all true knowledge a humble admission for all ignorance? What is your answer? എന്താണ്? What is your answer? Yes. Answer is very good. Answer is RSPQR. RSPQR. See, is a humble admission of our own ignorance is the foundation of all true knowledge. A humble admission of our own ignorance is the foundation of all true knowledge. Identify the word formation technique which a word is shortened one of its part. Yes. What is your answer? Identify the word formation technique in which a word is shortened to one of its part. Yes, you know that. What is that? That is nothing but clipping on clipping. Answer is clipping. Then, next question is, what is a function word? Yes. What is a function word? What is a function word? Functional word, structural words. Yes. Function word explains the grammatical relationship which new words can be formed, stresses of words in a speech. The word consists of meaning. Very good, Surya. Arunima Nair, correct. Function word is what? A word explains the grammatical relationship. A is the answer. Then, flying planes can be dangerous. Is often cited example for dash. Flying planes can be dangerous. Yes, very good, Deepa. Shahara, correct. Flying planes can be, Arnivanayar, correct. Flying planes can be dangerous. Yes. Correct ആണ്. എല്ലാവരും ശരിയാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. Flying planes can be dangerous means structural ambiguity ആണ്. The act of flying. Planes that are flying. The act of flying planes. അതാണ് planes that are flying. Structural ambiguity ആണ്. Okay. He runs a shop. In this sentence, verb runs is used as transitive verb, intransitive verb, regular verb, irregular verb. Very good. He runs a shop. This is a verb object. So it is a transitive verb. right? He runs a shop. Transitive verb ആണ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. Next one. Pay careful attention to dash. What did the teacher say? What the teacher says? What the teacher says? What the teacher says? What says the teacher? What is your answer? Pay attention to, yes, what the teacher says. What the teacher says ആണ്. To what? Pay careful attention to. Noun clause ആണ്. The teacher says അല്ല. ഇതല്ല. എന്താണ്? What does the teacher say അല്ല. What the teacher says. Object of the preposition. This is a noun clause. So here, what the teacher says. This sentence requires a noun clause to function as the object of the preposition to. Pay attention to what? What the teacher says. Uses a statement word order, subject verb, not Q word order. But a question order അല്ല ഇത്. എന്താണ്? അത് what does the teacher say അല്ല, what the teacher says. What does the teacher say is a question order. What does the teacher say? Teacher say is a question. Here എന്താണ്? What the teacher says. So here a noun clause ആണ് to function as the object of the preposition to. A noun clause, what the teacher says, uses the statement word order, subject verb, not question word. Remember that. Then, I would rather you dash in the hostel than your cousin's house. I would rather you dash in the hostel than your cousin's house. What is your answer? I would rather you dash. Jasmine, correct ആണോ? Kavya Krishna, correct ആണോ? Jasmine, correct ആണോ? Anupama CS, correct ആണോ? Yes, Surya MD, you are correct. Arunimar, correct അല്ല. Yes, Sahara, GWI Pro, correct ആണ്. Zahara ശരിയല്ല. അനുപമ ശരിയല്ല. രശ്മി ശരിയാണ്. Remember this. Answer is D ആണ്. Would rather plus noun or pronoun subject plus V2 ആണ്. നിങ്ങൾ ഓർമ്മിക്കണം. I'd rather you told a story than sang a song. I would rather you told a story than sang a song. I would rather you got married than remained a bachelor. Would rather വന്നാൽ noun വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെന്ത് വേണം? Past tense വേണം. Remember that. Would rather means prefer എന്നർത്ഥം. Would rather preference കാണിക്കുകയാണ്. അറിയാം ഞങ്ങൾക്ക്. I would rather കണ്ടോ? I would rather read books than watch TV. ഇവിടെ would rather ആണ്. I would rather go by auto than walk. കണ്ടല്ലേ? ഇവിടെ എന്താണ്? I would rather read. Would rather plus V1. I would rather read books than watch TV. I would rather go by auto than walk. കണ്ടല്ലേ? പ്രിഫറൻസ് ആണ്. എനിക്കിഷ്ടം എന്താണ്? I would rather read books than watch TV ആണ്. Would rather prefer ഉപയോഗിക്കുകയാണല്ലോ. I prefer reading books to watching television, to watching TV. ഇതാണ് would rather. എന്നാൽ വുഡ് റാദറിന്റെ കൂടെ പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ എന്താ വേണ്ടത്? സ്റ്റേഡ് വേണം. ഐ വുഡ് റാദർ യു ടോൾഡ് എ സ്റ്റോറി. ഐ വുഡ് റാദർ യു told a story. Told a story than sang a song. A song. ഇതാണ് would rather. Would rather plus noun plus past tense. ഒരേ പേഴ്സൺ ആയാലൊക്കെ തന്നെ ശരി. കേട്ടല്ലേ? V1 വേണ്ട. Would rather you, would ratherന്റെ കൂടെ നമ്മൾ noun വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ യു യൂസ് V2. അതായത് നമ്മൾ സിമ്പിൾ പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന where do we use simple past? To show past habits. An activity that was completed some time ago in the past. പിന്നെ I wish. നമ്മൾ I wish I had. ഈഫിന് ടൈപ്പ് ടു ക്ലോസ് ഉപയോഗിക്കും. പിന്നെ റിപ്പോർട്ട് സ്പീച്ചിൽ സിമ്പിൾ പെർസണൻസ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് സ്പീച്ച് ആക്കുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ഐ വുഡ് റാദർ പ്ലസ് നൗൺ പ്ലസ് പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ്. വുഡ് റാദറിൻ്റെ കൂടെ എപ്പോഴും നൗൺ വന്നാൽ പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് വേണം. നിങ്ങളോട് ചോദിക്കുകയാണ്, ഞാൻ വിവാഹം കഴിക്കണോ അല്ല സ്പിൻസ്റ്റർ ആയിരിക്കണോ അല്ലെ ബാച്ചലർ ആയിരിക്കണോ? ഞാൻ പറയും ഐ വുഡ് റാദർ യു ഗോട്ട് മാരീഡ് ദെൻ റിമെയിൻഡ് എ സ്പിൻസ്റ്റർ ദെൻ റിമെയിൻഡ് എ ബാച്ചലർ. നിങ്ങൾ ചോദിക്കാനോട് ഞാൻ ഹോസ്റ്റൽ താമസിക്കണോ എൻ്റെ കസിൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ താമസിക്കണോ? ഞാൻ പറയും എന്താണ്? ഐ വുഡ് റാദർ യു സ്റ്റേഡ് ഇൻ ദ ഹോസ്റ്റൽ ദെൻ യുവർ കസിൻസ് ഹൗസ്. റൈറ്റ്? ഇത് വുഡ് റാദർ പ്ലസ് നൗൺ പ്ലസ് പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് ആണ്, ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം. സാധാരണ വുഡ് റാദർ മീൻസ് പ്രിഫർ ആണ്. പ്രിഫർ. ഐ വുഡ് റാദർ റീഡ് ബുക്സ് ദെൻ വാച്ച് ടെലിവിഷൻ. ഐ വുഡ് റാദർ റീഡ് ബുക്സ് ദാൻ വാച്ച് ടെലിവിഷൻ ആണ്. അതാണ് ഐ പ്രിഫർ റീഡിങ് ബുക്സ് ടു വാച്ചിങ് ടെലിവിഷൻ. പ്രിഫർ വരുമ്പോൾ ING ഫോംസ് ഉപയോഗിക്കും. ഐ പ്രിഫർ റീഡിങ് ബുക്സ് ടു വാച്ചിങ് ടെലിവിഷൻ. വാട്ട് ഡു യു പ്രിഫർ? ഐ പ്രിഫർ ട്രാവലിംഗ്. ഐ പ്രിഫർ ട്രാവലിംഗ് ബൈ ഓട്ടോ ദാൻ I prefer traveling by auto to walking. I would rather go by auto than walk. Would rather prefer തമ്മിൽ വ്യത്യാസം. Would rather plus noun ആണെങ്കിൽ past tense വേണം. Remember that. You dash seen him. He was out of town all the week. ഇതാണ് സെന്റൻസ്. എന്താണ്? You dash have seen him. He was out of town all the week. Yes, you can't have seen him. You can't. The modal verb can't is used to express logical impossibility. Reduction on the past. You can't have past participle. The fact that he was out of town. Impossible that he was seen. Then, transform the complex compound. Complex to compound. കോംപ്ലക്സ് സെൻറ്റൻസുകൾ കോമ്പൗണ്ട് ആക്കി മാറ്റണം. ഫ്രം കോംപ്ലക്സ് ടു കോമ്പൗണ്ട്. ആസ് ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ ഹി ഡിഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോ ടു വർക്ക്. ഇത് കോംപ്ലക്സ് സെൻറ്റൻസ് ആണ്. ഇത് ആസ് ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ. ആസ് ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ ഇതൊരു സബോർഡിനേറ്റ് ക്ലോസ് ആണിത്. ആഡോ ക്ലോസ് ഓഫ് റീസൺ ആണ്. കാരണം എന്താണ്? ആസ് ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ ഹി ഡിഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോ ഔട്ട്. ഇത് കോമ്പൗണ്ട് ആക്കി മാറ്റണം. യെസ്, വെരി ഗുഡ് ജാസ്മിൻ, കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. സൂര്യ കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. കാവ്യ കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ ആൻഡ് സോ ഡിഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോ ടു വർക്ക്. ഇത് ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ ആൻഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോയിങ്. ഇത് ആൻഡ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചാൽ കോമ്പൗണ്ട് ആവും, പക്ഷെ ഇവിടെ ആൻഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോയിങ് ആണ്. ഇത് ഇൻ സ്പൈറ്റ് ഓഫ് ബീങ് ഇല്ലാണ്. അത് കോൺട്രഡിക്ടറി ആയിരിക്കണം. ഹി വാസ് ആസ് ഹി വാസ് ഹി ഡിഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോ ടു വർക്ക് ആണ്. ആസ് ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ ഹി വെന്റ് ടു വർക്ക് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഇൻ സ്പൈറ്റ് ഓഫ് ബീങ് ഇൽ ഹി went to work എന്ന് പറയുക. In spite of ഉപയോഗിക്കുക എപ്പോഴാണ്? Being ill, he did not go to work എന്നുള്ളത് സിമ്പിൾ സെന്റൻസ് ആണ്. Being ill, simple sentence ആണ്. Right? So here, ഇതാണെന്ന് പറയുക. അപ്പോൾ he was ill. He did not go to work. He did not go to work. ഈ രണ്ട് സിമ്പിൾ സെന്റൻസ് നമുക്ക് ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ ആക്കാം. അത് കോമ്പൗണ്ട് ആക്കാം. He was ill, so he did not go to work. As he was ill എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആയി മാറി. ഇത് ബീയിങ് ഇൽ ഹി ഡിഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോ ടു വർക്ക് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് എന്തായി മാറി? ബീയിങ് ഇൽ ഹി ഡിഡ് നോട്ട് ഗോ ടു വർക്ക് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ഫ്രേസ് ആയി മാറി. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് എ സിമ്പിൾ സെന്റൻസ്. ഇത് സിമ്പിൾ ആണ് കേട്ടോ. ഇതാണ് കോമ്പൗണ്ട് സെന്റൻസ്. ഇത് ശരിയല്ല. ഇത് ഇൻ സ്പൈറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഡെസ്പൈറ്റ് വരുമ്പോൾ കോൺട്രഡിക്റ്റ് ആണ്. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് ഈ വാക്കെടുക്കങ്ങൾ, അതായത് ഹി വാസ് ഇൽ yet he attended the class. നോക്കണം നിങ്ങൾക്ക്. He has many vices. He is a good man at heart. ഇത് രണ്ട് സിമ്പിൾ സെന്റൻസ് ആണിത്. ഇത് ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ സെന്റൻസ്, ഇത് വേറെ സിമ്പിൾ സെന്റൻസ് ആണ്. He has many vices. Vices means opposite of virtues ആണ്. He has many vices. He is a good man at heart. ഇത് കോൺട്രഡിക്ടറി ആണ്. നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറയുന്നു? He has many vices, but he is a good man at heart. He is a good man at heart. It becomes a compound sentence, but is a coordinating conjunction. He has many vices, but he is a good man at heart. ഇത് കോമ്പൗണ്ട് സെന്റൻസ് ആണ്. ഇത് നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഇത് കോൺട്രഡിക്ടറി ആണ്. ഇയാൾക്ക് ഒരുപാട് നല്ല ഗുണമുണ്ട്, എങ്കിലും അയാൾ ആരാണ്? കോമ്പൗണ്ട് സെന്റൻസ് ആണ്. ഇത് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഇത് ഈ വാക്യം നമുക്ക് കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആക്കാം. ഇതെന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? ഈ പാർട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഒരു ക്ലോസ് മാർക്കർ വെക്കും. ദോ ഹി ഹാസ്, അല്ലെ ഓൾദോ ഹി ഹാസ് മെനി വൈസസ്, ഈവൻ ദോ ഹി ഹാസ് മെനി വൈസസ്, he is a good man at heart. ഈ വാക്ക് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? ഈ പാർട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഒരു സബോർഡിനേറ്റ് ക്ലോസ് ആക്കി മാറ്റും. He is a good man at heart. Good man at heart. ഈ വാക്യം നമുക്ക്, ഇതേ വാക്യം നമുക്ക് ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ ആക്കാം. In spite of having many vices. In spite of having many vices, he is a good man at heart. Despite having many vices, he is a good man at heart. It becomes a simple sentence. The participle ആണ്. In spite of having many vices, it becomes a simple sentence. അടുത്ത നോക്കാം. കണ്ടോ? He did not go to work. Compound sentence of two independent clauses joined by coordinating conjunction. He was ill and he did not go to work. Are independent clauses joined by so. So, for, and, but, not only but also. But also. As well as, both and, or otherwise, or else, neither nor, either or. These are all കോർഡിനേറ്റിംഗ് കൺജങ്ഷൻസ്. ഇതൊക്കെ എന്താണ്? കോർഡിനേറ്റിംഗ് കൺജങ്ഷൻസ് ആണ്. ഇതൊക്കെയുള്ള വാക്കുകൾ കോമ്പൗണ്ട് സെൻസ് ആയിരിക്കും. റൈറ്റ്. ചേഞ്ച് ദ ആക്റ്റീവ് വോയിസ്. പ്രോമിസ് ഷുഡ് ബി കെപ്റ്റ്. ആർക്ക് പറയാം എന്താണ്? ഷുഡ് ബി കെപ്റ്റ് ആണ്. One should keep one's promises. You know the answer? One should keep one's promises. When the agent is not mentioned in the passive voice, general ആണ് one, we or you is used. കണ്ടില്ലേ? One is the most formal and fitting choice ആണ്. One should keep one's promise in form ആണ്. Promises should be kept. ഇതിന് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ടാഗ് വരുമ്പോൾ ഷുഡിൻറ്റ് വൺ ആണ്. ഓർമ്മിക്കണേ, ഷുഡിൻറ്റ് വൺ എന്ന് പറയണം. വൺ ആകുമ്പോൾ വൺ ആയിരിക്കും, എവരി വൺ ആകുമ്പോൾ ദേ ആയിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ. വിദ്യാകൃഷ്ണൻ. ഹാർഡ്ലി എവർ ഗോസ് സിനിമ. ഹി ഹാർഡ്ലി എവർ ഗോസ് ടു സിനിമ. ആർക്കും അറിയാം ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ടാഗ് എന്താണ്? യെസ്, ഡസ് ഹി ആണ്. ഹാർഡ്ലി, scarcely, rarely, barely, seldom, nor, പിന്നെ little, few. ഇതൊക്കെ എന്താണ്? നെഗറ്റീവ്സ് ആണ്. സോ ടാഗ് മസ്റ്റ് ബി പോസിറ്റീവ് ആണ്. Does he? Hardly, scarce, rarely, seldom are negative meaning. Therefore, they require positive or affirmative question tag. Right. അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നോക്കുക. To err is human. The underlined part of the sentence is prepositional phrase, an infinitive phrase functioning as subject, a participle phrase, a noun clause. ഏതാണ്? What is your answer? To err is human. To err is human is what? To err is human is an infinitive phrase functioning as subject. ഉണ്ടല്ലേ? To plus verb ആണ്. അത് it is human to err എന്നാ പറയുക. അത് ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ടറി it ആണ്. It is human to err. Infinitive phrase that acts the noun of the subject of the noun. Not only his speech, but also answered. Speech without preparation, one word. Speech without preparation. Without preparation, one word. Extempore ആണ്. EXTEMPORE. Impromptu. Without preparation ആണ്. Ad lib. Improvise. ഇവിടെ എന്താണ്? Not only did he complete his speech, but he also answered it. നോക്കണം. Did he complete? Negative adverbial clause. Not only it requires subject verb inversion in the first clause. The auxiliary verb did comes before the subject. Not only did he. Right. Then 91. Methodology question. Which of the following best distinction between the approach and method and technique? Approach, method and technique ആണ്. An approach is a set of beliefs about language learning. A method is a general plan based on an approach. And technique is a classroom activity. Yes, everybody knows. 91 question എന്താണ്? An approach is a set of beliefs about language learning. A method is a general plan. Specific strategy ആണെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് technique അല്ലെ strategy. So here answer here is An approach is a set of beliefs about a language learning. A method is a general plan based on an approach. Technique is a specific classroom strategy. Technique. This hierarchy, method, technique, approach, method, technique, was proposed by Edward Anthony. The approach is the theoretical level. Why? Method is the how. Technique is the implementation level. What? ഓർമ്മിക്കണം എന്താണ് മെത്തേഡ് ഈസ് മെത്തേഡ് ആണ് അപ്രോച്ച് ഈസ് വൈ മെത്തേഡ് ഈസ് ഹൗ ടെക്നിക് ഈസ് വാട്ട് റിമെമ്പർ ദിസ് വൈ ഹൗ ആൻഡ് വാട്ട് വൈ ഹൗ മെത്തേഡാണ് വാട്ട് ദിസ് ഇസ് സ്ട്രാറ്റജി ഇത് വൈ അപ്രോച്ച് ഹൗ മെത്തേഡ് വാട്ട് ടെക്നിക് then which of the following does not belong to Germanic language group? Which of the following does not belong to Germanic language group? Norwegian, Icelandic, Czech, English. Snehasani, correct or no? Which of the following does not belong to Germanic language group? Yes, Jasmine, correct ആണ്. Ahana Pradeep, correct ആണോ? ജംഷിദ correct ആണ്. അപ്പു correct ആണ്. Yes, Jasmine, okay. അപ്പു പൊന്നു correct ആണ്. Yes, സറീന correct ആണ്. ഷിഫ correct ആണ്. നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം, this is, Czech ആണ് ആൻസർ. Czech belongs to the West Slavic group of languages. This group includes other Slovak, Polish, Serbian, spoken in parts of Germany. The West Slavic language are part of the larger Slavic branch, Indo-European language family. Czech is closer to Slovak. Remember this. Czech. Then, next question is, a teacher who provides her students with graphic organizers, mind maps, and color-coded notes is primarily catering of which type of learner? Which type of learner? Primarily catering which type of learner? ഏതാണ്? Which type of learner? Yes. Very good. Visual learners. Visual learners ആണ്. Visual learners process information best when they can see it. Charts, diagrams, mind maps, and other visual aids. Highly effective tools for learning style. Then, the bilingual method of teaching developed by C.J. Donson is characterized by forbidding the use of mother tongue entirely, translating every sentence from the target language to the mother tongue. Teachers use the mother tongue to explain meanings of grammar points while students are only permitted to use the target language, alternating between mother tongue and target language in every sentence. What is your answer? Very good. Teachers use of the mother tongue to explain meanings and grammar points. Students are only permitted to use the target language. This is called bilingual. Remember, bilingual, C.J. Donson ഓർമ്മിക്കണം. Teachers use of mother tongue to explain the meanings of grammar points, while students are only permitted to use the target language. The bilingual method uses restricted and judicious use of mother tongue by the teacher as a tool to make meaning clear quickly, thus maximizing the time for students to practice the target language. Right. Then, next one. A teacher begins a writing lesson on descriptive essays or showing students several pictures of landscapes and asking them to brainstorm adjectives. This stage of writing process is known as, yes, ഏതാണ്? See, teacher begins writing lesson on descriptive essays of showing students several pictures of landscapes, asking them to brainstorm adjectives. This stage of writing process is known as, ഏതാണ്? Pre-writing. Very good, very good. Answer is pre-writing. You can see here, pre-writing. Pre-writing includes all the activities a writer does before starting the first draft. Brainstorming, outlining, and gathering ideas are classic pre-writing techniques. Writing-ile pre-writing techniques ആണെന്ത്? ഈ brainstorming-ഉം outlining-ഉം gathering of ideas. Then 96th question ആണ്, which of the following is an example of extensive reading activity? Which of the following is an example of extensive reading activity? Students analyzing a single sonnet for his literary devices. Students choosing a reader or a novel for their choice to read for pleasure and their own pace. Students translating a paragraph from English to other mother tongue. Students completing a grammar workshop based on short text. Extensive reading activity ആണ്. ആർക്കറിയാം എന്താണ്? Students choosing graded reader, novel, pleasure of their own pace. ആർക്കും അറിയാത്? Extensive reading or reading for pleasure involves reading large quantities of material on a wide range of topics, focusing on overall meaning rather than detailed analysis. ഈ പാർട്ടിലൊക്കെ കൂടുതൽ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ പ്രാക്ടിക്കൽ സൈഡിൽ നിന്ന് ക്വസ്റ്റൻ ആയിരിക്കും. What is meant by eclectic method of teaching language? What is meant by eclectic method of language teaching? Combination of grammar translation direct methods, combination of audiovisual structural methods, combination of functional and communicative approaches, common sense of blending the situation required methods. What is the answer? ശരിയാണോ? What is combination of functional and communicative approaches ആണോ? Common sense of bending of the situation required methods. Yes. Anupama, yes, you are correct. Hridnanda ശരിയല്ല. സൗമ്യ കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്. ജംഷിദ ശരിയല്ല. ജാസ്മിൻ ശരിയല്ല. എന്താണ്? കോമൺ സെൻസ് ഓഫ് ബ്ലെൻഡിങ് ഓൾ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ആണ്. ബ്ലെൻഡ്, അതായത് ബെനഫിറ്റ് ഫ്രം ഓൾ മെത്തേഡ്സ് ആണ്. നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം ബെനഫിറ്റ് ഫ്രം ഓൾ. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് ഡിറക്റ്റ് മെത്തേഡ്സിന് അതിൻ്റെതായ സവിശേഷതകളുണ്ട്, അതിൻ്റെതായ മെറിറ്റ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റീവ് അപ്രോച്ചിന് അതിൻ്റെതായ സവിശേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. TP ടോട്ടൽ ഫിസിക്കൽ റെസ്പോൺസ് അതിൻ്റെതായ ഗുണങ്ങളുണ്ട്. SOS അതിൻ്റെതായ ഗുണമുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഓരോന്നിൻ്റെയും ഗുണങ്ങൾ, അതായത് മെറിറ്റ്സ് മാത്രം നമ്മൾ ബ്ലെൻഡ് ചെയ്യുക. അതാണ് എക്ലക്റ്റിക് മെത്തേഡ്. ബെനിഫിറ്റ് ഫ്രം ഓൾ മെത്തേഡ്സ്, എല്ലാറ്റിൻ്റെയും നന്മകൾ സംശീകരിക്കുക ടീച്ചിങ്ങിന്. അതാണ് എക്ലക്റ്റിക് മെത്തേഡ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. റൈറ്റ്. ദെൻ 90th question, primary focus of the structural oral situational approach is. Primary focus of എന്താണ്? Primary focus of, what is the primary focus of structural oral method is. Primary focus of structural oral approach is. What is your answer? Primary focus of structural അതാണ്. Yes, very good. ഓർമ്മിക്കണം, SOS അതായത് സ്ട്രക്ചറൽ അപ്രോച്ച് കണ്ട ഓർമ്മിക്കണം. സെലക്ഷൻ, ഗ്രഡേഷൻ, പ്രസന്റേഷൻ. ഇതാണ് ടീച്ചിങ് ലാംഗ്വേജ് ത്രൂ കെയർഫുൾ സെലക്ഷൻ, ഗ്രേഡിംഗ്, പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ഓഫ് സെന്റൻസ് സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സ് in meaningful situation ആണ് E. ഓർമ്മിക്കണം. Teaching language through careful selection of grading, presentation of sentence structures in meaning tradition. This approach believes that language is a set of structures that must be mastered. It focuses on teaching these structures one by one, presenting them orally first and practicing them carefully controlled situations. Right? You must read these explanations. Then, an assessment task requires students to perform real-world task, writing an email to a friend, participating in a role play, demonstrate their language ability is known as assessment task that requires very good കാവ്യകൃഷ്ണ സൂര്യ ഒക്കെ ശരിയാണ്. What is an authentic assessment? You know the answer? An authentic assessment ആണ്. Authentic assessment aims to evaluate a student's ability to apply their own knowledge, skills in realistic context, as opposed to testing isolated language points. Right. And the last question is this. According to NCF 2005, KCF 27, multilingualism in language classroom should be viewed as multilingualism in language classroom is viewed as problem that hinders the learning of English, a valuable resource that can be used to enhance learning and foster cognitive flexibility, an issue that is irrelevant to the teaching of English, a temporary phase that students must overcome. Yes, very good. A valuable resource that can be used to enhance learning and foster cognitive flexibility. Very good. Last question is our answer. A valuable resource that can be used to enhance. Valuable resource that can be used to enhance learning and foster cognitive flexibility. ഇതാണ് ആൻസർ. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ സോഫാർ 100 ചോദ്യങ്ങളാണ് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തത്. 20 ചോദ്യം പാർട്ട് എയിലാണ്. അത് നിങ്ങളൊന്നുകൂടി ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. മറ്റ് 80 ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ എല്ലാ മേഖലകളെയും നമ്മൾ ഏകദേശം വെയിറ്റേജ് കൊടുത്താണ് ചെയ്തത്. ഇത് ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ പരീക്ഷയ്ക്ക് എഴുതാനുള്ള ഒരു മാർഗമാണ്. ഈ രൂപത്തിൽ മനസ്സിലായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എളുപ്പത്തിൽ നിങ്ങളെ റിവിഷൻ വർക്ക് നടത്താൻ കഴിയും. അപ്പോൾ ഇനി കുറച്ച് ദിവസം കൂടിയേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഒരു 3-4 ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒന്നുകൂടി ടെൻഷൻ ഇല്ലാതെ ഒന്നുകൂടി പഠിച്ച് മുന്നോട്ട് പോയാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അടുത്ത ശനിയാഴ്ച വരുമ്പോൾ അടുത്ത ബുധനാഴ്ച നിങ്ങൾ പരീക്ഷ ഹാളിൽ വളരെ കോൺഫിഡൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പോകാൻ കഴിയും. പ്രയാസപ്പെടുകയൊന്നും വേണ്ട കേട്ടോ. അപ്പോൾ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ പരീക്ഷ എഴുതുക. എല്ലാവിധ വിജയാശംസകളും തരുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് Prepscale ലേണിംഗ് ആപ്പിൻ്റെ എല്ലാവിധ ആശംസകളും നൽകുന്നു. ഇത്ര നേരം എൻ്റെ വാക്കുകൾ എന്നോടൊപ്പം സഹകരിച്ച ഈ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ആക്റ്റീവായി പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത എല്ലാ അധ്യാപക സുഹൃത്തുക്കളും ഹൃദയം നിറഞ്ഞ സ്നേഹവും നന്ദിയും ഞാൻ ഹൃദയത്തിൽ സൂക്ഷിക്കുന്നു. അതോടൊപ്പം നിങ്ങളോട് പ്രകാശിപ്പിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്. ഓക്കെ.